I have played college football 26 for over 24 hours. Let's go over my 24-hour review. Let's talk about it. How y'all doing? Welcome back to another College Football 26 episode. How y'all doing? Welcome to the show. Guys, we got a great episode for you today. I've just got done playing over 24 hours of this game. I spent all day playing yesterday. I spent all day playing today, guys. I've put in already so many hours into this game, and I wanted to go over everything of what I'm feeling and my thoughts. Now, I'm not going to go in deep on each of the game modes. Each game mode review will be coming out, which actually the Dynasty game mode review will be coming out actually on Wednesday, 4 a.m., so make sure you stay up for 4 a.m., or just wake up. Wake up at like 6 or 7 a.m., and the episode will already be there for you in the morning. For my morning people out there, I always want to get those out as soon as I can for y'all, and I want to get this out as soon as I can. That's why this one's dropping right now as soon as I'm done. Guys, let's get into this fucking game, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been having so much fun playing this game. The first couple of days there were some issues. First day early access, there was a lot of issues. I went over those issues. I do have a few more issues, which, we might as well get all the issues out the way, because I really love this game. So let's get all the negative stuff in front. Starting off, there is some text issues. There is some dialogue issues that are in this game. For instance, once I got to the semifinal in College Football 26 on Dynasty, I remember there was, where the news segment is, there was a little bit of a text error, so there are some misspellings that are in this game, which is a little unprofessional from EA Sports, the big-ass fucking, video game company. So, there's some things right there. Hopefully they can get that figured out before, the game drops for everybody. But for right now, for the early access, there was some text mess-ups, there was some misspelling, which is a little disappointing. And another issue that I kept finding while I was playing the College Football 26 playoffs, which I do like the new additional 2 rounds, it really makes every game feel really fucking dramatic now. And, even if the shitty team makes it through, there's probably a reason why the shitty team made it through, because they're actually really goddamn good. And I learned that the hard way when I played my national championship game. But I will say, each time the game ended and there was this little handshake with your quarterback and the enemy coach that you went against, every time it went to this quarterback that I kept playing with, man's head was bigger than every fucking head in the game. He had a cartoon head. It was that fucking massive, which was just so funny to me when I was fucking playing this game. I just kept going, what the fuck? Why the hell is this guy's head so goddamn big? It just, got me a little confused when I was watching the game, when I was playing the game. So, that was a funny thing, too. And I will say, I really wish they would have, switched up some of the dialogue as the commentators and all that stuff. There's moments where the commentary is a little too similar to 25. I know they can't go in and say new shit, but at least some of the 25 sayings, like at the end of the playoff games, or some of the big games, I wish they just would have slightly would have tweaked these dialogues to make it feel a little bit more fresher, a little bit more newer, in my opinion. But yeah, and that's honestly all of my negatives right now for 26. Now, I got some Road to Glory negatives already, but we'll get into that when I do the Road to Glory review, which tomorrow I will be playing Road to Glory all day, and so you will get my goddamn thoughts on Road to Glory, because I'll be playing that game mode all day, and I will do a Road to Glory game mode review. But for now, those are all my complaints about College Football 26. Now let's go over the stuff that I'm really enjoying about this game. First of all, the new sound system is just so great. There is moments where, the commentators are getting, overshadowed by the crowd and how loud the stadium's shaking. But I think that's honestly a good thing. It makes these games feel a lot more bigger, makes these games feel a lot more dramatic when you're actually, playing the game, which is so cool. The games just feel bigger. When it's a big game, it's a big fucking game. And I really do like that distinction. Sometimes it felt with the playoffs, when you got to 25 on the playoffs, even if it was a ranked team, you're going against a ranked team, just sometimes moments didn't feel that big. And now every time I play the game, when it's a small game, it's a small game. But when it's a big game, you really feel that big game. And also, one of the things that I really enjoyed about this game now is the weather system. Every player looks fatigued as hell now at the end of the games. They really feel like they went through a fucking, a 60-plus minute, football game. They really look like it at the end of it, which I really do enjoy now. I also do enjoy the fact that the coaches now are really part of the game. You really see them in the cutscenes. You really see them in the beginning of games, the end of games. And I really do like that. I like it. I got to see for the first time my coach actually walking in with my other players, while we're coming in. So that was a really cool moment to have. I really enjoy that in the new college football games and the game. And also another thing that I really enjoyed too was the fact that every single graphic, every single little, transition to, timeouts, transition to the 2-minute warning, transitions to, each of the quarter, each graphic, these new graphics that popped off, that was a big game changer because I've complained so much in 25 that every graphic just felt so soulless, felt a little lifeless. But these graphics now actually have a lot more personality to them. The scoreboard graphic looks amazing. I really like how the scoreboard graphic looks on the national champions. And I like how this scoreboard, it's not just the scoreboards that change. It was everything else that changed. Drive summaries look a lot better now, which is one of those things that I complained about in 25. I really wanted them to fix that. So that's a big improvement. And also, the fluid movement is such a big game changer on the new college football 26. The experience of running the ball, the experience of throwing the ball just feels a lot more tighter, a lot more better, and just overall is such a massive improvement. I like the new block shedding. I like how you can control the blocks with each of your players and the linemen. I really enjoy that. This game has definitely won me over, and definitely And, if you thought this game was better than 25, I don't know how I would ever go back to 25 now. This is definitely a game where, you stick with the new one because the new one actually improved what the old one had. Everything from the news, from now reading the news, you get to see your coach, on the whole entire time now. Just every single graphic, even the graphics, when you're loading into a new game. I just like the new look now what College Football 26 has. It just looks so much more cleaner, a lot more personality, and it just doesn't feel... It just feels a lot better. This overall game feels so much better, and I think College Football 26 has definitely, put its worth out there. The first day, I had some issues, I won't lie. My game crashed a couple of times. I did have to reload in, reload back out. There were some in-game glitches. There was some text misspellings, etc. The commentators are still the fucking same. You will never catch me liking whatever fucking Kevin's saying on halftime. And honestly, you will never catch me really enjoying, the other commentators, when you're not playing big games. So, you'll never change my opinions on those things. I really wish those things would change. Just make the game a lot goddamn better. But, for the gameplay and the overall actual, improvements that I wanted in this game, you definitely got it. I really love how you can just sub in and sub players out now just in one little quick menu. Just such a better system. Guys, how are you feeling about College Football 26? I'd say 24 hours in, I'm having the time of my life. I can't wait to put even more hours into this game. I mean, this game's just absolutely fantastic. There's still some issues. I will be going over a lot of issues once we get into talking about the road to glory. But guys, I'm having such a good time with this game. How do y'all feel about College Football 26? Are you enjoying this game? Are you disliking this game? I don't know. Let me know. Guys, if you're on YouTube, Spotify, Pandora, wherever you get your podcast at, make sure you follow, turn on notifications, guys. We're dropping We're going to be dropping more game mode reviews of this game. We're going to be dropping some tier lists. We're going to be dropping some top 10s, some top 5s. We got a lot of content coming out for this game, so make sure you follow to stay up to date with that. I'll see y'all later. You have a good one. Bye.